We are ready to get our D-rings welded onto the frame here. So I've already dressed the mill scale off of all the tubes, one of them being rusty. We cleaned that off. I also took the U-shaped brackets that we're welding on here, and I just kind of polished them with the flap disc on the grinder to kind of get down to shiny metal. So we should have good clean metal on all that. I also swapped out the wire in the MIG welder. We're going to be running flux core now, so it's flux intercord wire, also called dual shield, because we run the gas there with it there as well. For components like this, I personally just feel better about using a flux core because it's like welding with a 7018 electrode. You have a really strong weld there, a lot of penetration with the weld bead. So that's my personal preference. You can still weld this with the solid wire. Everything else is welded with a solid wire, but this just being a hitch point with a lot of pressure being pulled on it, I just want to make sure that I weld it in there good and solid. So we got them all clamped, ready to go, except for that back one. I couldn't get a clamp over where it was at, so I've just got a piece of weight just hanging on it. So here we go. We'll start with this one. I got the fume extractor over here. Like that. Nice, good, solid weld on there. You can take your chipping hammer. Doesn't take much. Knock the flux off right there. And I'm going to go ahead and take the clamp off and just do the back side. I like it. That is burning in there nice and hot. Nice heavy weld right there. I trust that right there much more than I do that weld with the solid wire short circuit MIG versus the dual shield right here.
Burning hot. Okay, we've got it mounted back on the front of the truck again. We're going to do another test fit with the monkey, get it on here and strap it down. We're going to see what goes. There's a couple more things that I'm going to do, and then this will pretty much be finished out. I want to go ahead and weld just some kind of little piece of bar stock or round stock or anything to the center shank there I'm going to do it in position right here. That way, whenever we go to load this, I can slide it back to a stop. That's all it's going to be, is a stop. And that'll allow me to line the pin up without having to shake this thing around and try to move it back and forth to line the pin up. So weld a stop on there. And I also want to figure out some kind of standoff right here for the kickstand. When we roll the bike up on there, just have the place for the kickstand to rest while we get the straps hooked down. Super easy to load it up. I'm glad I went with those 3-inch sidewalls because they help the tires just stay aligned as you're going up onto the carrier there. All right, let me get this. This is something that I'm going to be looking at to replace as well. These are excellent straps, but I saw some other ones that some people use. I think they're maybe Australian made or something. Just a little bit different than this right here, designed for motorcycle use. So that's working out good. The location of this D-ring, it's not hitting the, this is just a camera mount here. Not out here interfering with anything. One of the other things I plan on doing before we use this and go on our big trip, I'm gonna make a wooden block that's gonna go up in here in space between the tire and the fender mount there, so that it doesn't compress the forks all the way. It'll have more of a solid mount there that it's pulling down on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mount up the ramp here for the first time like this and see how it does. I've got it, I put it right next to the rail so that I could easily line it up. Once I just come in here and do this, just like that. You see we've got the back D-ring welded on here so that it does not affect, you know, it's not laying in the way of the rail whenever you go to stick it on there. And then we have our linch pins here. Just like that. This one I'll have to reach up in here to get like this. And there it is. There's the rail. All right, I'm on the last thing before we get this thing down to the powder coat shop. And what I had planned to do was put a couple of small holes on this end of the rail. I got a feeling when this thing is mounted on the truck and it's raining, the rain is probably gonna run this way and run off this way. The other way, if it goes, it doesn't matter because it's open. So we're gonna put 2/4 inch holes down in here. I'm just gonna hand drill them. This is that Viking Vortex drill that we were using before to drill the cross hole for the pin. And this is, I'm just gonna do it by hand. We're gonna put it in the drill motor and use it. And it should be a pretty simple operation to drill that hole. All I've done is just punched a couple of spots right here. Not too bad. Just that easy. Drills work pretty good drilling by hand. Go in there with the deburr tool, go ahead and deburr that sharp edge.
And same thing on the bottom side here.
Perfect. All right, we are ready. Last little piece, this is that stop that I was telling you I was gonna put on there. It's just a piece of key stock. And all I did was just make sure everything was aligned with the pin, pushed it in there with my finger, tacked it off on both sides, and I brought it in here and just welded it out. So that's gonna work out good for helping to align this pin every time we go to put it onto the truck. All right, guys, well, the fab work of the motorcycle carrier here is now finished up. The next phase is tomorrow morning, being Monday morning. I'm gonna load this thing up and take it down to the powder coating shop. First thing get it down there, because they told me that if I could get it down there early, that they should be able to get this done for me, because they're planning on this coming Friday. They're shutting down. They're moving. They actually bought a new facility in the central part of the county. They like quadrupled their size, and so they're moving. So this coming up week is they've got to get everything finished up. So hopefully they're going to be able to get this, get it in and get it done for me. I'll get it back this coming week, hopefully, and then after that, it's just a matter of trying to figure out all of the strap down methods and the different straps that I want to use, getting it tied down to the truck and that kind of stuff. So I was thinking for the color, what I may end up doing is using that vein color like I did on the welding cart and some of the other ZT Fab stuff. Matter of fact, let me, no, I was going to say the welding cart's over there, but it's sort of it's a mixture of black and gray, and it sort of has that hammered look that they call vein. That's what I was thinking about doing on this. I think it'll look really nice, and it kind of helps hide any kind of scratches and things like that in the coating over time. So that's what I may end up going with, is that vein color. And I think it'll look good. It'll match everything, you know, with the black and the gray. So once we get this thing powder coated, I'll be sure to show you what it looks like and finish out getting this thing, the bike on there and ready for our long haul trip. All right, guys, I want to share with you a nearly completed A-bomb built front motorcycle carrier for the Ram there. I took it down to the powder coating shop yesterday, and they knocked it out in one day. Picked it up first thing this morning because they had it hanging yesterday. It was finished. They said, come on down in the morning, be ready to go. So I went down there this morning, picked it up, and there it is. I just mounted it to the truck. It has been raining all day today. Ever since I picked this thing up, been raining all day. So it's evening time. Decided to go ahead and get it mounted up to the front of the truck because I'm actually going to use it for the first time tomorrow, because I planned on taking the monkey down to our local motorcycle shop right down the street called D&D Cycles. They're going to do a couple things for the monkey for me. But let me pan you in here and show you how this thing came out. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The finish came out good. This is what you call the silver vein. People also call it a hammered finish. This is the same color that I had some of the accessories in my shop powder coated, and I like this color. I think it's just a good solid color. It mixes really well with the truck, you know, with the black and the white. We have a little gray on the Kodiak there, so it blends in well. The other cool thing that I like about the vein is that as you use this with this texture and this color, it kind of helps to hide some of the scratches and scuffs and imperfections and dirt and crud over time, versus just a solid color. I was really just going to go with like a black, and I got to thinking about the silver vein, and I thought it would be just a nice neutral color that really just matches anything. So the guys did a really good job down there at the powder coating shop. It's really interesting. Velocity Restorations actually just recently moved to a new facility further up central part of the county, and they didn't have their powder coating area ready yet. So just the powder coating guys have been down at the old shop for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and so this week, this Thursday is their last day. Today being a Tuesday. Thursday is their last day at the old facility down there. So Cody, he's the guy that I always deal with. I've done machine work for him. He told me, he says, if you can get it down there early this week, they should be able to knock it out for you, because Thursday they're going to be closed up, and then all next week they're going to be packing up the powder coating shop, moving it down to the new shop, getting it set up. They could be 1 to 2 weeks down until they get set up again. So I busted through the weekend getting the rack welded and fabbed and ready to go, and they knocked it out in a day. So very cool. Any of you local people around here, around the Pensacola area, if you're looking for powder coating work, definitely check them out. Panhandle Powder Coating or Velocity Restorations. It's all part of the same company. They'll do any color that you want. They do have a lot of stock colors, this being one of their stock colors. I believe they put this on some of their frames for their Bronco restorations they do. But anyway, they did a good job. So we got it mounted up, and I've actually got the anti-rattle hitch tightener on there. You can see it's a U-bolt that goes around the tube. There's a plate that goes underneath it, and so the plate catches the actual hitch, and it makes everything just tighten up together, okay? So if I come out here, you can see there's very little movement because it's tightened up on there. The flex you see is just the flex in the material itself. I still plan on running the straps. I haven't got those yet. So we have some transom straps that are gonna bolt right here to either side. They'll bolt to that, and then I just have the one hook that'll come up to the tow hook, and I'll be able to cinch in both sides to give it extra stability there. And then the other thing I did, I ordered some 1/16 diameter wire rope and some ferrules, and I plan on tying off these lynch pins with some stainless steel wire rope to the ramp, so that these are always going to be attached to this. I don't have to keep up with them. When I pull them out, I just put them straight in my pocket so that I know where they're at all the time. Everything looks pretty good. Looks really nice. He told me that some of these D-rings, you're gonna have a little bit of area there that they can't cover fully, to be expected. And I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm really excited about that. I did pick up a piece of 1.5-inch tubing that fits inside here. That's the last thing I gotta fabricate. We're gonna have a piece that just slides in there that's got a little piece of flat bar or something welded on it that I can just slide in there for the kickstand to sit on whenever I put the monkey on there. So anyway, I'm still waiting on the straps for it. I've got the anti-rattle hitch pin that I'm planning on putting on this. I'm not going to have just that standard pin. We're going to have an anti-rattle pin on there, which is like a bolt. There's a nut that goes inside the tube with a spring around it that holds it in place. The pin goes through and threads into that, and it draws the carrier, whatever you got in there, over to the side, and it pulls it all together and tightens it up like a bolt does. So that's going to help that. The piece I already showed you on there with that, and then the two straps that are going to end up going on there is going to make this thing really nice and sturdy. So all I got left to do is get some high quality straps, which is part of the plans at D&D Cycles. They actually sell some of the high quality straps that have the hooks with the locks on them, so the hooks won't just come undone right there. So we're going to have some high quality straps for that, and that's about it, I think. So I just wanted to go ahead and get it hooked up because it's supposed to be pouring raining in the morning again, and if it's raining, this will already be on there. I'm going to hook it up. I'll show you what it looks like whenever we strap it up if it's not pouring down rain. If it is, I'll try to get whatever I can and share it with you. So I'm going to take the monkey down to D&D, and they are going to beef up the front forks. That's something that's been needing to be done. Need to get some stronger springs in there that's more suited for an adult, especially somebody big like me. And I'm also going to have them put some different tires on there. I want something with a little bit more aggressive knobby tread on it. So we're going to do that, get them to change the oil, a couple of little things, and we'll talk about that later, all right? But just real happy with the way that this has come out. I think it's going to work really well, and it is ready to hit the road. I was just pulling out my straps, and I realized the transom straps that I bought, I believe, are the same exact thing as this guy right here. This says Erickson on it, but if you turn it around and see the frame here, it's got a 5/8 hole in there, and I remember that being the bolt that comes with it is a 5/8 bolt. So just imagine it without this strap and hook on that side. So take that pin out, and where that hole is there, we're going to actually set this up in the shop. Drill a hole. This thing is going to be mounted right there all the time. We'll just have it right in line with that hook, to where once that thing is ready, you just pull that hook up and attach it right there, just like so. These things are a little aggravating to deal with sometimes, but it'd be something on the lines of that right there. That's how it's going to look. I couldn't stand it. I had to load it up one more time today and try it out. So this is our first time putting the monkey on a finished powder coated rack there. I went ahead and put my other tie down straps on either side right there, so it's still got the outward stability going on. And this little drive I'm going to do in the morning is literally only a few miles down the road. It's not that far. So if you grab it, shake it, you can see I mean, that cinch down tight. Now, the other thing I've done, I've cut this block. This block is between the tire and the 3 bolts that hold the fender on right there. So it's pulled down tight against that. It's not just, you know, compressing the shocks there, the forks. So that's down pretty tight. Anytime I'm traveling down the highway with it, when we're actually traveling, it's going to be supported by 2 strong, really good quality straps in the front. These, I'm not going to be using these. It's going to be lockable hooks. They're not going to be open like that. We're going to have a nice strap across the back of it here to support the back. And then we've had people asking me on social media about, what about locking it? Don't you think you need to lock it? Well, I've thought of that too. It's going to be locked on there. I just, you know, I haven't shown everything yet, but I do have a locking chain that's probably going to go through these eyes right here and through the wheel, you know, and just kind of support it on there, lock it on there. Now, with that, with the locking hitch pin, I mean, somebody's got to, they're going to have to go through a lot of effort to get this thing off there and get it gone, you know. So the only time it's going to be like this when we're on the road, you know, we're not in the truck, is, you know, at a rest area, at a restaurant, gas station, you know, some kind of stop along the road. We got the bike carrier's maiden voyage, and we have brought it down here to D&D Cycles. They're going to help me. They're going to make some mods to the monkey, fix the front suspension, beef it up for me with some O'Lean's springs in there. We're going to put some knobby tires on it, probably a new rear sprocket. It needs an oil change, and, you know, whatever else they recommend. We're just going to try to add a few mods to it to improve it a little bit. But so far, the bike carrier has done excellent. I'm also buying brand new straps for this too from D&D right here.